All right, so we're going to continue on from the previous video. We're going to try to wrap this up on this one. I said that the last video, I know, but we went off into some other stuff that we had to discover, like resetting everything, because in order for us to know that we had to do that, we had to test our application. We had to run it and see what was going on. So you see the value of testing your application, constantly testing your application to make sure that it's doing what you expect it to do. Don't just start typing everything and just moving forward what you think you know. On every step, it's important to test so that way you know moving forward you're making the right step. So in the previous video, we had everything working right and everything is already reset. And if you didn't get to see that, make sure you watch that video because I'm not gonna, revisit most of that stuff. At this point, we want to go ahead and now put some more logic in here. The logic that we're looking for next is if the same card was selected. So let me give you an example of what I mean by this. I'm going to go back here, F5, hit start. If I click on this one, when I click it again, that doesn't mean that's the one I'm selecting again. It just means I want to flip it back over. Like, okay, I want to start all over from the one that I clicked. So if I click it again, I want to erase what I previously clicked. So in order to do that, I'm going to do that here inside of this if statement, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and make some room inside this if. And then inside of here, I'm going to do an else, like an if-else statement. But I want to put a note here that says selected the same card. So here is if you selected the same card, you're going to flip it back over. All right, so this is going to be what's called an else if. Yeah, it's going to be all one word. And inside the else if, we're going to say if the first card equals selected card. And we want to say if it equals the selected card and if the card has a selected color. So we're not just checking if the first card is the same card. We're also making sure that it has that color that we're using when it is selected. And so basically it is this color here that we're checking. So I'm just going to put that all on one line like this. So if that is the case, then else if is part of this if statement. So we don't really need an end if. It's going to utilize this end if. So this is saying if this is true, go ahead and do that. But if this is not true, then check for this one. And so on this one, we're checking to see if that was that same card. And if it is that same card, then what we want to be able to do is we want to go ahead and change the color back to the default color because we're flipping it back over. So we want this here inside of here. Select the card, and we're going to want that to be the default color. What color is that? Yeah, it's the default color. So we're going to put the default color right there. So after we set the default color, we then want to take away the lettering from it. See how the lettering is still there? So when we flip it back, we also want to get rid of the lettering. So it's not going to be the fill. It's going to be select the card.text frame. Text range. And that's going to equal nothing. We're going to clear that out. And I want to fix this formatting here to make sure it's inside of that else. Something like that. And then I'm going to, once I do this, the first card should equal empty. Since I flipped it back over, there is no more first card, so I have to make it empty again. So let's see if this, we can see if this will work. Wait, no. Before we do that, we're going to have to... Okay, so before we do this, we're going to have to check for the secondary card. Yeah, so we're going to check for the secondary card. So we're going to call this as an else. It's going to be here, else if, another else if, and that's going to be the second card equals, if the second card is nothing, right, and not the first card equals nothing, meaning the second card is nothing and the first card is not empty. Then we need to check one more thing. We want to check, make sure it doesn't have that selected color. That's how we know it's the second card, because it doesn't have that color. So we're going to say and active presentation dot slides to dot shapes, and we want that selected card again. So inside the shapes, we're going to select the card, and we want the dot fill for color, and we want to check the RGB of the for color, and we want to check that it's not equals selected color. Now, if all that's true, then we want to do something inside of this if. Meaning, if all that's true, then now we have ourselves a second card. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and type this out really quick. Then down here, so we need to reset that first selected card also here. And then we're going to select the first card as well. And then over here, we're going to, let me open this up a little bit. You've already seen us do this, and I'm just going to expand this a little bit so you can see kind of everything that's typed out here, so it's not too confusing. All right, so we have all this check here, and if this is true, then that means we have ourselves a second card. And what we're going to do with that second card is we're going to go ahead and add the selected card name. We're going to change the color to selected color, and then we're going to change the selected shape out down here at the bottom to green. Meaning we got ourselves a score of some kind. You know, we got the right one. We selected the right one. Then over here, we're going to take that second card and make it out into lowercase. Now we want to go ahead and check this second card with the first card. Because for right now, if I select the same card, it's going to give me a green. And we're going to have to fix that. But just to let you see what I mean, I'm going to go ahead and hit F5 here. Click here. I select that card. Nothing there. If I select the same card, it's going to give me a green because it says that it's correct. But it's not really correct. So that's what we need to actually fix. So basically here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare cards. So inside of, and remember, I'm still inside of this if statement here. So I'm going to say if the first card equals the second card. If the first, so I'm going to say if the first card equals second card, then, and I'm going to end if early so that I can type inside of there. And I'm going to tab in there. If that is true, if the first card equals the second card, then score equals score plus 1. So I'm going to add the score. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to add to the selected box. To this selected box, I'm going to add to the text frame. say good job. All right, and now I want to go ahead and add the score to the score box here. So that one was called SHP score. So I'm going to pretty much do the same thing, except this will be called SHP score. And instead of good job, it's going to hold the score. So if that is the case, then do that. Else, I'm going to put that in that. This is not an else if, this is just an else. And I want this else to be there. That means it's not, and I'm going to reset pretty much everything back to the way it was. And I'm going to reset both. I'm going to reset both cards. So this is why when I selected the first card, I made it to be the first card selected here, so I can grab it if I needed it down here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. So as you can see here, what we have is we have that selected card, the frame. We're resetting everything here back to 0. The selected card, and that's the second selected card, remember. And then what we do is we do the same thing with that first selected card. We reset it. And then we say inside of that selected shape, sorry, try again. And then over here, we change it back to, we change it to the wrong color that we set earlier. Now after we do that, after this one right here, we're going to have to reset our first card, because now we got everything wrong or right. But in any case, we need to reset the first card and a second card. So regardless of what happens, we got to do that anyway. Okay, so that looks about right. Let's try to run it and see what explodes. But before we move on, I think I see an issue here. If it's the second card is empty and the first card is not empty. Oh, and it's not. Yeah, so it has to be not there. Okay, so that should do it. But I want to show you what happens if I don't put this not here. I'm gonna leave it like this. And then I'm going to run it. Hit F5, start. I hit this one, then I hit it again, and it says good job. I hit the same one, and it gives me a score. That's not correct. And it gives me another score. So I can just keep on clicking, and it's going to keep giving me that score because we didn't put that not there. So really what we want here is and not this color. So now when I go back here and I run this, I click this, I click it again, and I'm not going to get a score until I find the next one. As you can see there, good job. I got 1 point. All right. And I can keep on clicking it all day and night. It's not going to give me any more points because guess what? These are already selected and this is already set. Now, let's see what happens if I refresh this and run it again, and all this should restart. So see how it's all changed. That 1 is there. I'm not sure. Yeah. So now I'm going to hit F5 again, hit run. Good. Everything is changed. Back here. Good job. Perfect. Now let's add ourselves another block here and see if our code, our logic actually works. So we did one. Let's see what happens if we add more blocks here. So all we need to do is backtrack on what we did before. So I'm going to select this shape, these shapes. I'm going to duplicate these. Control D. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these names from A to B. So we're pretty much done with our code, actually. That's awesome if this works out for us. So we have our B1 and our B2, right? So we changed the names. And then we got to go make the code for this. well, not make the code. We just got to add one of these. We got to create another one of these. So I'm going to highlight this. And then instead of card A, I'm going to say card B. And then B lower. I'm just repeating everything I did before for card A. And I'm going to change this to B. And change this to B. Now I need to go connect these to the proper button. So this one right here, I can see that's B1. I'm going to go to Insert, Action, and connect that to B, uppercase B. This one right here is lowercase b, so I'm going to go to Insert, connect this to lower b, hit OK. Now this should actually work. So I don't think I need to add anything else. So I'm going to hit F5, run this. So I should at least be able to get 2 points. I got that point, and I got 2 points. Awesome. Let's see what happens when I don't select it properly. So I'm going to go here. I select A. I select B. It tells me, sorry, no match. Try again, and it converts them back. That's perfect. I'll go here, A, B. Nope. No score. And maybe you can make it a negative score, you know, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to go here, select that one. Yep, got a score. Here, that one, got a score. We got ourselves a game now. And now you can see I can mix and match these up. I can put this one here, put this one here, and run it. And it's going to reset everything for me anyway. So here, wrong. Oh man, here, there we go. Here, perfect. And there's a way, what we can do is put all of these in a way to where they randomly are placed in different areas. So it's not always the same game. So there's a lot we can do with this. I'll go ahead and hook up one more so you guys can see. Like I said, I was going to do A, B, and C. So I'll hook up one more so you can see exactly, see that this works no matter how many you add. And that's why we focused on the logic first. So I'm going to go ahead and select these two. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm just going to add it over here. Okay, so I'm going to call this one C, lowercase c. I'm going to call this one uppercase C. And then I got to add this to 1. I should have just took an upper from each one of them. But that should be fine. All right, so maybe I'll just add that here. So now that I have those, I go back to my code and same thing. Copy these, put it right under there, change the B to C, and then go connect it here. So I'm going to take this one. This is my lowercase c. So I'm going to go to Action, lower c. This one's going to be the uppercase, so Action, upper C, OK. Now I should be able to get enough points here. I'm going to go here, click here. So if you notice what happened, I clicked on this one and this one popped up. That tells me I did not change the lettering on the inside. This one, see how this popped up for B? So it thinks I'm using B. And so the problem that I'm running into is directly connected to the fact that even though I changed this to C, I didn't change this to C. So it wasn't my program, it was the fact that I didn't change things up the way I was supposed to. So now when I hit F5, there should be no problem. There we go. Awesome. Good job. Nope, got that one wrong. And it didn't reset this one. So that's good. It only reset the ones that I got. Good. So even if I can't even select any of these because of our logic is working properly. And we got 3 points. So now we can add points. We can finish the game. We can allow people to exit the game. We can make an exit button if we wanted to. There's a ton of things we can do with this. But for right now, we have ourselves a fully working game that we can actually change to any kind of game. Searching for Waldo, searching for letters or pictures, and I can easily change these to pictures inside the code. But for right now, I think we've done enough. So if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. And if you appreciate this video, make sure you like this video, make sure you share it, and make sure you go look at some of my other videos and just click like a million times. No less than a million times. That's kind of how you show your appreciation for me. So if you ever watched any of my videos, you just got to make sure you go watch all of my movies, all of my videos, and make sure you click it at least a million times. And then also make sure I get at least a million subscribers. That's the least that you can do. All right. So I'll see you guys next time.